All right, today we are diving headfirst into a classic canine matchup, the Poodle versus the Schnauzer. If you're on the hunt for a dog that's smart, loyal, and doesn't shed all over your furniture, chances are these two are at the very top of your list. So, which one is really the right fit for you and your family? Let's get into it.
So you're looking for that perfect canine companion, right? One that ticks all the major boxes. Well, once you narrow it down, you often land on a few top contenders, and these two are always in the running.
At a glance, you might think they're pretty similar. I mean, they're both super smart, great for people with allergies, and they both come from Germany. But listen, don't let those fancy haircuts fool you. Their personalities and what they need from you are actually worlds apart, and figuring that out is the key to choosing the right one.
To really get who these dogs are, you gotta go back to their roots in Germany. You see, the Poodle wasn't always this primped and proper show dog. They were originally hardcore water retrievers for hunters. And that iconic haircut, well, it wasn't for style, it was practical. It kept their joints warm in cold water while letting them swim easily. The Schnauzer, on the other hand, was like the ultimate farmhand, a pest controller, a guard dog, and a family pal, all rolled into one. And those working-class origins, they absolutely shine through in their personalities today.
Okay, so one of the first things you've got to consider is size. And this is where you start to see some really big differences between these two. The good news is, both breeds give you options, which is awesome depending on whether you live in a tiny apartment or a huge house.
And as you can see, the range is, well, it's huge. For poodles, you've got the tiny little toy poodle that can practically fit in a handbag, all the way up to the big, elegant standard poodle. But then you look at the Schnauzer, and they take it to another level. You have the miniature, the standard, and then the giant, which can top out at almost 100 pounds. We're talking about a serious, formidable dog there.
But here's the thing, size isn't just about how much space they'll hog on your bed. As this research from Japan clearly shows, size often has a direct link to lifespan. Generally speaking, smaller dogs tend to live longer. That's definitely something to keep in mind when you're thinking about the many years you'll be spending with your new best friend. So moving on from size, let's talk about what's probably the most important piece of the puzzle, personality. How is this dog actually going to fit in with your family, your kids, and just your life? And speaking of families, let's just start with a little dose of reality from a Reddit user about toy poodles. They point out that these little guys can be pretty fragile, which, might not be the best mix if you have young, rambunctious kids running around. It's a really important thing to consider if you've got toddlers. So what does this all boil down to for you? Well, it goes right back to their old jobs. The poodle, bred to be a hunter's sidekick, is like a sensitive intellectual. They're incredibly tuned in to your emotions, which makes them amazing companions. But they can also be a little high-strung. The Schnauzer, that trusty farm guardian, is your loyal protector. They're tough, a little suspicious of strangers at first, and they were born with an instinct to chase things. So you're basically choosing between a perceptive soulmate and a spirited bodyguard. Okay, let's get practical. What's it actually like to live with one of these dogs, day in and day out? Let's break down the daily commitment. A miniature Schnauzer can have the energy for a walk of up to 3 miles a day. Yeah, don't let their smaller size fool you. These are not couch potatoes. They are active dogs that absolutely need to burn off that energy. And here's a big one, and I mean a really big one for both breeds, grooming. Their hair just never stops growing. That means you're looking at a professional grooming appointment every 6 to 8 weeks to keep their coat from getting painfully matted. And trust me, this is totally non-negotiable. And yeah, those appointments, they are not cheap. Grooming is a serious, recurring cost that you have to factor into your budget. That beautiful, low-shedding coat definitely comes at a price. But it's not just about their bodies. You have to exercise their minds too. These are wicked smart dogs, and they need mental stimulation to be happy. Poodles are basically a trainer's dream. They live to please you, and they pick things up so fast. Schnauzers are every bit as smart, but, well, they've got a bit of a stubborn streak. You'll need patience. And you should also be prepared for that Schnauzer watchdog instinct to kick in. They love to bark at everything.
A dog is a long-term commitment. So it's really important to take a clear-eyed look at the data on their health and what you can expect over their lifetime.
According to this really huge study of insured pets over in Japan, toy poodles seem to have a little bit of an edge in the lifespan department. They live to an average of almost 15 years, which is just a bit longer than the miniature Schnauzer.
And that same study gives us a kind of sobering, big-picture look at what our dogs face. Across a lot of different breeds, cancer and heart problems are some of the most common, serious health challenges that pop up. But let's drill down, because beyond those general risks, each of these breeds has its own specific list of things to watch out for. Poodles, for example, are known for having dental problems, so you have to be super on top of brushing their teeth. Schnauzers, on the other hand, can be prone to things like pancreatitis, which is really painful, and also urinary stones. So for either breed, regular vet checkups are an absolute must. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. Size, personality, daily needs, health. So after all of that, how in the world do you make the final call? Let's just boil it all down. The poodle is your sensitive, brilliant companion, and they're probably best suited for a home with older kids who know how to be gentle. The Schnauzer is your sturdy, energetic protector who loves having a job to do and makes an amazing watchdog. Ultimately, the best choice really comes down to what you're looking for, that sensitive soul or a spirited guardian.
But what if you're totally torn? What if you love the poodle's incredible intelligence, but you also want the Schnauzer's rugged sturdiness? Well, that leads us to one last very interesting thought. Maybe the perfect dog for you isn't a poodle or a Schnauzer, but a mix of both. The Schnoodle is a super popular hybrid that tries to combine the best of both worlds. Is it the perfect dog? Well, that might be a topic for a whole other day. For now, we'll leave you with that to think about.